Today, the lives of more than 1,000 people will be cut short because of an asthma attack. And the very sad thing is most of these deaths are actually preventable due to a simple delay in obtaining inhaled medications during the final attack. You see, when your airways begin to constrict, a process otherwise known as bronchoconstriction, it's only a matter of minutes before the inhaled medications can no longer reach the target areas. The target areas being the deep, smaller airways within the lungs. In this context, timing is absolutely crucial in the management of severe asthma attacks, as it becomes a race to beat the obstruction of the airways. I'm currently one of 597,000 New Zealanders using inhaled medications to manage their asthma, and while these are the gold standard treatment, we still have roughly 7,000 hospitalisations per year, costing over $1 billion to New Zealand healthcare system annually. These inhaled medications also come with a variety of side effects, but worst of all, overuse of these medications can actually worsen the condition over time due to chronic pharmaceutical exposure, ultimately increasing one's risk of an asthma attack. To address these issues, we introduced the Ventimate, our innovative wearable bronchodilator device that is rapid acting and pharmaceutical free. Our patented technology works by non-invasively stimulating the nerve pathway that's responsible for opening the small airways. So far, we've shown in 3 randomized placebo-controlled trials that we can prevent exercise-induced bronchoconstriction in healthy humans by non-invasively opening the small airways in real time. Now, fortunately, with support from Te Toki Order, we're conducting a large-scale clinical trial in the asthmatic population to clinically validate our technology. Our ultimate goal is to develop a device that works as a closed-loop system, meaning that it will continuously monitor for an asthma attack and immediately apply stimulation before it becomes a life-threatening emergency. And so by reducing the time to intervention in a pharmaceutical-free manner, I believe this technology has the potential to revolutionise the way in which we manage respiratory conditions. And so I hope you'll join me on this mission toward reducing the burden of asthma on the healthcare system and ultimately the global mortality of asthma attacks. Thank you.
Kia ora, Joseph. Any questions?
I've got more. Again, a clarification, perhaps more than a question. You mentioned the results you already have on exercise-induced asthma. How would you extrapolate from there on other non-exercise-induced attacks? Would it be the same?
So it would be, so we'd clinically validate this in an asthmatic cohort by having them take mannitol powder or hypertonic saline, which actually induces constriction in a much more controlled environment. So our exercise-induced asthma is a condition in itself. That's the next step we're going to do.
Any other questions?
Just a really quick one. So I've noticed the logo of New Zealand IP office, so I'm guessing you patented that in New Zealand. Why New Zealand? Why New Zealand only?
It's just what I have access to. I did this research at the University of Otago, and our tech transfer office works with the New Zealand Intellectual Property Office.
So are you aware of any international analogues?
No, we're able to patent this because there's no prior art, and we're able to proceed with that.
Cool. Thank you.
Saila, did you have a question?
Just a very quick question, because you mentioned or inferred that the populations that often are most affected are those that have, in terms of the respiratory problems, that are equity populations that find it difficult to access healthcare. What is the cost associated, perhaps, for those populations to access this?
To access this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very valid question. So ideally, we'd hope to have this available in the clinic, perhaps in rural GP. And the good thing about a device is that nobody has to keep going to the clinic for repeat prescriptions of inhalers. So ideally, the device would be rechargeable and they can have it for the whole time. So hopefully in that way, we can reduce the cost, especially for inequitable access.